Oh, but yeah, I've got it open as well. Testing 1, 2.
Testing.
I like the frozen screen.
Terrible.
Whatever.
It's not playing yet. There it is. Testing.
Hello?
Testing YouTube.
YouTube.
Feeling good?
All right.
Good.
All right. And live in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Episode 18.
Episode 18.
Peyton Manning. Omaha.
No. Yeah. Not my favorite.
For me, it's a Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes.
Who?
18. Exactly.
What?
What's that? What'd you say?
Yeah, that's what I
Paul
said.
Scholes?
Paul Scholes. I'll show you later.
Is that
Okay.
a person?
Oh, he's a hell of a person. Still is.
Oh, okay. Slow down. Welcome back. Episode 18.
18.
Man, this podcast is rolling.
It really is.
18. Does it in a half.
Hey, we had a great episode previously. Episode
Yeah.
17 was good. Shout out to Errol and
Transcend.
Transcend Life.
It was very mind-opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed. Definitely a few things I'll be implementing into my day-to-day activities.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we're all friends with Arrow. You guys, of course, longer than I. But there's always this sense of calmness with Arrow.
Mhm.
You know, he brings about this, like, whatever my problems are, I know I'm not that close with him, but I feel like if I reached out, he would just leave me with just perfect resolution of calmness. You know?
Yeah.
So very interested to check out his Transcendent Life. I've followed his Instagram for a little while. Honestly haven't watched any of the YouTube yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely gonna check it out. If you guys look at our last post on Spotify as well as YouTube, in the description there's a link to his Instagram and his YouTube, so you can find him there. Transcendent Life.
Love it. And speaking of social media platforms, you can find us on Instagram at
PB.J _podcast. And our YouTube is PB&J. And if you are watching, you're viewing us here. We do have it. We have a backdrop now.
Beautiful backdrop.
We're making it. We're getting there. Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. It's been. I love looking forward to. What kind of grammar is that? I enjoy our podcast, and I look forward to Sundays when we do our podcast. It's just we hang out all the time. I mean, you and I live together, but even with you, like, we hang out pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something with the podcast. You know, there's could be something troubling us. Could be something, in our own head about something, and we'll end up talking about it on a podcast without even disclosing it to one another. But it comes up, coincidental. But, do you believe in coincidences? Sometimes it's just what was supposed to happen. Fate. So, yeah, 18 episodes. I, besides watching football, I wouldn't want to do anything else on Sunday in this podcast.
Likewise.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
So, going off of Transcendent Life, I had this topic floating around in my head for, probably past month or so. So I'm a very curious person. Sometimes I ask too many questions, and in the same way, like you said last week, like feeling like a burden, I don't want to pressure someone because it feels like I'm just asking all these questions. But I have a few for you guys. Like, you guys are both foreigners that have come to America, both at younger ages, right? So you've had enough years to experience America for what it is, what it isn't, what you thought it might be, and what you are disappointed in, honestly. Even as an American, I can say there's very disappointing things about America. And I don't mean this to be like a, beat down America podcast by any means, but I want to hear both sides. I want to hear both of your honest opinions. Like, So if we're starting out, if you guys want to say like, what age you moved here, you don't have to go into personal of how you got here, why you came here. You can if you want to give the viewers and listeners a little background, but just kind of like what led you here and what made you stay, or if you had a choice in it or not.
You want me to start?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So my dad moved over to the US in the late 90s, and he came over here on business. And I'd always come for like summer holidays, and I loved America, loved coming for 4, 6, 8 weeks, something like that. And from a young age, I was like, I want to live in America. And I luckily had enough time with my dad's business when I was coming over here, just, hanging around, and said that I wanted to come over here and help you with the business. So when I finished school back in England and, got all the paperwork and everything like that, which is a pain in the arse. I'll tell you that, it's a royal pain in the backside. But, coming over here the right way takes a little bit of time. But I moved over here 2010, after the World Cup in 2010. So I've been here 12 years. And I always get the question of, how do you like it here? Or, what's England like and all that kind of stuff. But I thoroughly enjoy living here. I didn't know too many people moving over here, which was uncomfortable at first. But people, especially down in the South, I have realized that people actually want to know about, where you're from, what you're into. I suppose it's the Southern hospitality. But being over here 12 years, I don't think, well, let me put it this way. Just like the saying over here, the bang for the buck, you get more bang for your buck over here. So you're hardworking. I'm a blue collar worker. When you're putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, and you don't expect a certain lifestyle, but you get kind of what you put in. And I feel like in the UK, it's not so much like that. Politics, taxes, all that kind of stuff. But still, at the end of the day, over here, the quality of life is far superior than what it is. And politics is everything, all over the place. It's all a mess. What I take of it anyway, I tell people the grass is greener in England only because it rains more. Honestly, it's just a different part of the world. And it's beautiful over there. I love it. But to live, I wouldn't choose anywhere else other than here at the moment. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed 12 years, and foreseeable future, I'll be here. But
Nice.
How old are you, B?
Well, right now I'm 30 years old. So I moved here. My mom remarried and to a American, and he's in the military. So I moved here when I was 12. So 2004, I moved to America. Moved to a really small town in Florida called Pensacola, Florida. Shout out Pensacola. Very different than what I expected of the U.S., right? On TV, when I lived in Malaysia, that's where I'm from originally. A lot of people think I'm from India. I'm not. I am Malaysian. Okay. So I moved from Malaysia when I was 12. When I came over here, I expected New York City in every city. Yeah, I mean, then again, I was 12. Really, what can I expect? I was still ignorant at that time. But when you moved to Pensacola, I mean, the tallest building was probably freaking La Quinta Inn.
Spanish for next to Denny's.
Yeah, it's just, it was just, I was like, what is this? I was so pissed.
Had you been to America before that?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, I had not been to America before that. My mom had. Not sure why they chose Pensacola or why my stepdad did, but we did. So I had a different perspective of America when I first moved here. So it already kind of like painted a bad picture in my mind. Like, what the fuck is this? This is not New York City. I come from a really big city in Malaysia, KL. It's always go, go, go. It's packed, always activity going on. So that's what I was used to, and that's what I expected. And when I first moved here, I was probably the only foreigner in my middle school. And it was actually a good thing because people had not seen someone from a different country, which goes to show you how small that city was. So I was like the cool kid in a sense because I was a foreigner, right? Everyone wanted to be friends with me. I had so much attention I moved here. I was here for second semester of 6th grade. And even people who were in 8th grade who I had no classes with knew about me and wanted to like meet me and be friends with me. Some cute girls too. I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, that was my first experience. I didn't really like Pensacola because I didn't expect it to be that small. Then I moved to Georgia a couple of years later because there's a Hope Scholarship here in Georgia where if you get a 3.0, you can get a full ride to school essentially. So my mom really liked that idea. But before that, Pensacola, I was probably the smartest kid in my goddamn class. Like I could have if I had stayed in Pensacola, I could have probably gone to Harvard. Like no shit. It was just so easy. I was like the best math student. I'm like, you can barely add. Like I was like the best math student. I was like all these honor rolls, won awards, bullshit like that. But it was so easy. Like the school system was amazing. And then I moved to Georgia. And how old was I? I think I moved here when I was 14. So going into freshman year of high school. Completely different experience, I would say. A lot more people than Pensacola. But I grew up in the American school system, right? At the end of the day, for the most part, I enjoyed it. Had friends, everything was good. The question that you asked is like, what my experiences so far, or
experiences so far, and like even things that were different, which you've gone into about different parts of America are different. Yeah. They're not just New York City, as well as like some dislikes as far as like your experiences so far, and maybe something didn't live up to par. Yeah, and then the other side is like positive. Like you didn't expect it to have America, but you love it. Okay, well, obviously the unexpected part was not moving to a city that was comparable to KL. Yeah, not a very popular city. Yeah. So that really rubbed me the wrong way. Had a negative first day here. I had food poisoning. Yeah. I went to Steak and Shake. It's just like, this is the worst. I was 12. I mean, I was ignorant, right? I don't know much. But then throughout high school and stuff, like I was able to acclimate with like the people and the lifestyle here. Moved to a predominantly white city, I would say. So I got really white in a sense. But in Pensacola, I was really black. I tell you that.
That was a huge shift there. I was in Pensacola, man. I'll be out there. You know what I'm saying? With my boy Juwan, you know what I'm saying? Like we were chilling. I was wearing Echo. I was wearing Fat Farm. I was wearing Sean John. You know, I was all deep in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And then I moved to Milton, Georgia.
Milton.
And I traded those clothes in for Ralph Lauren and khakis. And I tried to wear my Fat Farm the first few days of freshman year of high school. I'm like, wait a minute. Something ain't right. So I was like, Mom, we got to go. We got to go back new clothes. So I was able to acclimate myself into it. Things I really like about being here, I'm not like Rooney. I can see myself moving back to Malaysia at a later age in life, like retirement, because my money here goes a longer way over there. So I can see myself retiring in Malaysia. I'm really indifferent, only because I haven't had enough experiences in Malaysia to say I don't like it. Right? Like I can base everything off the news if I want to, but unless I live it, I can't say it. The one thing I will say is I'm a Christian, and being a Christian in Malaysia is it's probably the minority in the sense of like there's a plethora of religions in Malaysia, but Muslim is the predominant one. And our family wasn't a Muslim. So if you're not Muslim, you kind of already are looked down upon. So that was big. So I like that moving to America. It's kind of like a melting pot, kind of be whatever you want, do anything you want. I really love that aspect of America. That is probably my number one thing I like so many different cultures, so many different people, so many different religions. I like how it's all in one country, as opposed to Malaysia. You are looked down upon if you aren't a Muslim.
I think that would be one of my things, as well as how inclusive everyone is over it. You know, it doesn't matter what your background, where you're from, what your religion. It just seems like everyone wants to include everyone else and just come together. There's a community kind of feel around a lot of places, a lot of people that I've experienced so far.
Yeah, it's definitely a positive here. A negative about America, I mean, it's really a negative in every country. The way you look, but that's like every country has that aspect to it. Especially like his point, being in the South, he was very welcome. I would say I was very welcome too, right? But like when I got older, I realized there are people that legitimately look at my color and be like, you can make a joke out of the color of my skin, or you can make a joke about the way I essentially look, right? And I'm like, I don't really like that. I will never experience that in Malaysia, because the only thing you go off there is religion. I'm not showing my cross around, but here it's a little different, especially in the South. I don't know how it is in New York or California. I've experienced that, and it's not something I prefer. And I don't wish that upon anyone, to be honest. Even though they're making a joke, it's not something that I care to joke about. It's because I can't change that shit. So that would be my one dislike about America. I also don't like that everyone has an opinion about everything. Like, to be honest, like it's stupid, but that's my opinion of people's opinions. Everyone has something to say. No one can just shut up and do your things. To one point, it's a freedom. The other point is like you creating problems, stating your opinions, and other people following it. I don't know. I just don't like that aspect of things. But overall, my experience in America has been decent. I have no complaints being here. But I think I can see myself living in Malaysia again, or any other country. Yeah. I'm really just indifferent about here. I just built a life here, and it's convenient and comfortable.
Fair enough. It's like I said at the beginning, it's something I'm just curious about. You know, I found myself last episode looking I've never been surrounded by people where I ended up being the minority, and not by skin color. I'm talking about from background.
Yeah. Yep.
Last episode, guy from England, guy from Malaysia, and a guy from Turkey. And I'm the American. Like, I'm outnumbered in the sense of foreign to natural born. But I don't look at it as a negative by any means, because I might not speak for the majority in this situation. But because of the fact that I love hearing about people's backgrounds, it interests me. And I would love to be the minority in situations like that, because it's something America needs, honestly. Like, America has it. And as an American, I can say this, especially the South. America has diversity, but it's not looked upon as diversity, if that makes sense. It's not honored. It's not respected. And as an American, that's something I don't like about America.
Yeah.
I grew up in a town of 300, 200 people, very small in South Louisiana. And from the age of birth till 24, before I moved here to Georgia, I knew 3 people who were foreigners. One was a German exchange student. One was, I think she was from Denmark. I don't know, one of those, Northern European. And then a guy that my family actually got to know really well, he's from Switzerland. And that's his background. Actually, I kind of fell in love with Switzerland for what he was saying. But he had both of your perspectives, in the sense of he loved America, and he's an older man. And he said, like, he wouldn't move back, but he could live there if he needed to. Like, he loved Switzerland. And then in the same sense, like, there's some things, of course, he wanted to change about America too. But, he loved it here as well. So I just wanted to hear you guys' opinion, because at some point, even my family, like, I'm from America, right? But, like, you go back probably 4 generations. My family were immigrants, most of my family is from that European area of the UK and France. That's 4 to 5 generations, probably 5 generations for sure. That's, what is that, 200 years? That's very short in the span of talking about civilization.
Yeah.
And this is what America was founded upon. Like, that's, and me saying this, I'm not saying that I'm not against open borders, because there's a certain point that if we just have open borders, in a sense, that's disrespectful to you guys for doing it the right way, right? You said it's a fuck ton of paperwork. It's a pain in the ass. So just allowing people to come in is disrespectful to you guys who did it the right way, right? But then I'm not for putting families locked up in cages, So there's kind of a balance, and I think people need to stop looking at people wanting to come to America as a negative thing, because at the end of the day, they are willing to sacrifice their life, their family, what they know to come to this country. So we should actually honor that. But as of right now, it's just a political debate between both sides, which is a broken system in this country.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on America at all. So I'll put it this way. I think every American that was born in America could benefit from going and experiencing other cultures in different countries.
100%.
Because I think they're extremely, I guess this would be shitting on Americans, but like ignorant to a sense, like shit isn't done the way you think it's done based off what you hear on the news, guys. And people don't think the same way. In every country, it's different. Every country, every culture, every experience is different for each person. And I think America as a whole has a lot to learn in a sense of what's out there. Because I think that's, they assume something, and then that's how it is. It's never the case.
We're one of the youngest countries,
yeah,
for its time, and just because, some countries in Europe or some countries in Asia did it this way, we have the ability to learn from that and do it a different way. We don't have to follow in someone's path, right? Like, so I agree with you on that. There is ignorance. I've been fortunate enough to leave the country and go to very rural, untouristy places in Mexico.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I got to see Mexico for what it is, not what the news tells me, not a tourist area. I've gone to some real, just private parts of Mexico, and it's like, this country borders us, and it's night and day difference. And the poverty level is insane. So I actually, when I get the opportunity to go to Mexico, I look forward to it, not just put on the gram, oh my God, I'm in Mexico, like, which Americans have a terrible ability to do that for whatever reason. But I look forward to it because it kind of grounds me. I get grounded. Like, man, I should be thankful for what the fuck I have. Honestly, like, they don't have running water. They have potted water. And as an American, if we drink that, our gut turns into a volcano.
Yeah.
Like, if that's water, that should be a human right to have fresh water. And we're here, watering our gardens and lawns with fresh water. And some countries don't have the ability to drink water better than you can get out of a toilet in America. So it's little things like that. And I love going places. I'm looking forward to going to other countries, not just Mexico. So yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys and get a feel of it. Got some, like, I guess, to lighten the topic a little bit, but kind of stay on the same topic, like basic questions like, what is some food that you fucking love in America? It's like, holy shit, we didn't have this back home. And then, like, also in the same regard, like, I never want to eat that ever again. How in the fuck are Americans eating that? And I know one that you guys both know. You guys both have talked about, so I've gathered it. Like, biscuit, American biscuit. What the fuck is that? Like, I'm sure when you guys move here, like, what?
On a cookie.
Yeah, biscuits. Yeah, I dip my biscuit in tea. Yeah, fuck's sake. Yeah, not this flaky, like scone,
or a macaron.
Yeah. When I moved here, I looked at people weirdly when they said they had peanut butter on things. I was like, you're disgusting, peanut butter. But now we are the PB&J, and peanut butter is like my life now.
Peanut butter is life.
Oh, it's so good. That's one thing that I thought was gonna be strange, like trying peanut butter. But one thing I don't like about near enough every American that I talk to, they're like, oh, English food, that's shit. It's like,
really?
Oh, it's so many.
Heck no.
So many. And, it's like a lot of movies as well. It's like, the food is worse than the weather and stuff like that. I'm like, what kind of food are you talking about? I don't know what people think. I mean, obviously beer is served at room temperature and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But when it comes to food, it's like, that's some of the freshest stuff I've ever had. And, the Sunday roast and all that kind of stuff. I feel like I don't know what people are thinking about when they think of English food, but it's like, no, that's some of the tastiest shit you're going to have. But I think as well, it's probably because in America, like, you have your traditional, you go out for your American burger or whatever it is, and then you go to Mexican. And that's part of the culture here. It's like Mexican is basically, it's US #1 food.
Yeah.
So, like, in the UK, there's a lot of Indian influence, and the culture has, bled into the British way of living, and people love Indian food. And
I'm Malaysian, bro.
And again, like over here, when you say to an American, we're gonna go and get Indian food, they're like, ugh,
yeah.
Curry,
yeah, curry and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like,
It's not always spicy, motherfuckers. I will tell you that. It's not.
Always tasty though.
Yeah.
So, but people, maybe that's my point. Is people aren't broadening their horizons to like, oh, this stuff could actually be good.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going off, oh, some people say it's bad, so it's bad, kind of thing. But like, had you had Indian food before the first time we took you to John? And how did you enjoy that?
Loved it. I will say, like, curry in general does not taste at all what I expected it to. At all.
Yeah.
I was thinking of this harsh gravy sauce, like super spicy, and once I had it, I was like, well, I could literally eat this once a week. Like, it's that fucking good. I could well, let me not go that far. I was gonna say I could replace Mexican, but I could eat it just as much as Mexican. Honestly, I like it that much. Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, the one thing I don't like about American food is how processed it is right here. Very processed. At the same time, one thing I love about America is the processed foods.
Shout out chicken tendies.
I love me some chicken tendies or horse ass or whatever it is they put in that shit. God damn, they got some really amazing, delicious, unhealthy food here. And I'm like, God, this is the best processed shit I've ever eaten in my life.
It's so convenient.
It's so convenient. And you go to Malaysia, we have the same brands, right? Like McDonald's and stuff, but it's like actually good. It's like not organic, but like you can actually taste the chicken. Like when you eat like a McChicken.
The quality
is just amazing. Here, it's not so much the best quality, but goddamn, do I love it. At least I used to love it, not anymore. But like, yeah, I guess like the food I would enjoy here the most would be like the fast food stuff. Like, and the thing I hate here the most is the fast food stuff.
Catch 22.
Yeah.
I feel like I got asked recently, like, what's the culture Louisiana like? I understand the food, but what's the culture? And I started typing out my response, and then it was almost impossible for me to describe the culture of Louisiana without involving food. And then I started thinking about it, like the Mexican restaurants and myself being able to go to Mexico and authentic, like I got to eat the authentic stuff I order at a Tex-Mex restaurant here. It's like, holy shit. First of all, it was wild. They brought a barbecue pit inside of this building and they were cooking next to us inside of a building, but fresh meat from the farm that we literally walked to get to the building. And so I feel like food is in itself a religion in the sense of it builds the culture. I was even able to try Malaysian food. Yeah. Beef. Rendang.
There we go.
And we're back.
So
roti bread.
Nasi lemak.
Pow.
There we go.
Pow buns. Is it the proper?
Yeah.
Not Jinya. It's pow.
Pow. Yeah.
Slow down, baby. And that's just recently, like meeting you guys and experiencing new foods. I found out I love Thai food. I like, Asian food is the stigma of Asian buffets, but going to an actual Chinese restaurant and not a buffet, but actually eating is like, oh, this shit's way better than the stupid American Chinese buffets, right?
And I will tell you, going to Malaysia, we have like actual Chinese food there, and it is even 10 times better than what it is here. Oh. Like it's just the quality is just amazing. The way they cook it. Chinese food over in Asia is just obviously a lot better. It's not the crap you eat here, even though it does taste good because it's processed.
It's on another level.
Yeah, it's on another level. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was actually shocked when you started talking about how you go back to Malaysia and you're like, I go to McDonald's. Yeah. It's like, that's mind-boggling.
That's the first thing I do.
As an American, if I'm going somewhere, McDonald's is the last place because in my head, I'm thinking it's McDonald's. But not realizing that it's specific to where you're at.
Yeah. Like when I took that trip to Japan, the place I ate every morning was the McDonald's because it tasted so good. It actually tasted like I would eat that now. Even now, I would still eat that. It actually tasted good. Aside from it being a McDonald's, like the quality was just amazing. And the same thing with Malaysia, right? Like the McChicken over there. Granted, it's not, the price is a little different in those countries. It's not $1 for a sandwich. Like you go there, like you would go here to like a Mexican restaurant. That's the price that we're talking about, right? So it's not as convenient of pricing, but there's a reason for that because the shit's good.
But I think that's the stigma, though, right? Like as an American, we think it's McDonald's, it's fast food, it's whatever. Like in those places you're talking about, it's not what we think it is in America. No. So I think that's why I was so perplexed. But then I like processed. I was like, oh, it's different. It's like I can't. Japanese McDonald's and Woodstock McDonald's are two different things. Yeah. It's distinguished. It's got the same name, but it's different. Like, so that was interesting. I will say, to go back to your English food, you know, I've never had beans and toast. That's the stigma, right? Beans and toast. But I do love me an Irish breakfast, I'll tell you that. Oh, slow down, baby.
See, I don't like the Irish accent, but I do love me an Irish breakfast.
Freaking blood pudding. Oh, I could eat a dozen of those little cakes.
But it's even like when it comes down to breakfast items, you know, sausage and bacon and all that kind of stuff. The stuff we have back home is completely different. You know, it's a thicker sausage. But they use a different part of the pig for the bacon. Like everything's just different. Over here, I'd call the bacon you have like streaky bacon. So it's like meat fat. Where the bacon back home, it's 99% just a meat, and it's so delicious. But that's the thing of like, I suppose, the difference in the cultures of what they use for the food that they eat in the mornings. Breakfast items are breakfast items, but they're different cuts, and people don't understand that. It's know. But I don't. I suppose it goes back to ignorance. I suppose just thinking, you know, fish and chips, mushy peas. It's fantastic. Go and try it, but go and try it from not somewhere that's TGI Fridays. Like that. Like, I'm not going to go back home to a pub and ask for a all American, you know, burger and all that kind of stuff. It's like I'm not going to get the actual, you know. That's not going to taste like America. Yeah,
don't be closed off about the item you eat here that's not from here. When you go over there, like, oh, I'm never getting fish and chips. Like, no, like that's where you should get fish and chips.
When in Rome. Yeah. When in Rome.
Exactly.
Like just open your mind.
Because I want to go to Malaysia with you. I want you to come to the UK with me. I want us to go to Louisiana with John.
Yeah, that's going to be the easiest one right now.
But
whenever, John, just saying.
I think it's about when you do get the chance, you have to go balls deep into the culture. Go to the places where the locals go, because you're not going to. It's like if you go to the West Coast or something, but then, you know, go to McDonald's again. It's like, no. Go to somewhere that you can't get. And just really live like a local.
Embrace the culture.
And if you don't like it, it's fine. But you tried it.
Exactly. Just open your mind, which I'm not saying they're closed-minded at all. They just haven't been educated enough about the other cultures. That's why I call them ignorant, right? But there's the ability to fix that, and it's by opening your mind. Some people don't like to travel, that's on them, but don't go shitting on Indian food, Chinese food, and English food before trying it. Like actually trying it from there. Yeah. But I agree. Like when we go to Malaysia, I'm not going to take y'all to like a 5-star restaurant. We're going to go to like the street stalls. And like the food courts over there. Y'all can try like really good Malaysian food.
That's the thing when you see these like food shows that go all across the world and stuff like. It's not like they're gonna go to a 5-star like white tablecloth. They go into the community where it's like all the love and passion is in the food, and you know, just like the street food and all that kind of stuff. You know, if you go back home to the UK, go to the pubs. The people that own the pub, work the pub,
You're running it.
That's their life.
Yeah.
So they're putting all of their life into everything that they do there. They might have a bed and breakfast there, and that'd be the best experience you've ever had, because that's their life, basically. So it's not like you've just got a 9-to-5 worker.
Yeah, exactly.
Clock out and I don't care about this.
Yeah.
They live it.
They literally make ends meet
Mm-hmm.
by cooking and providing food for you.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't do it, they don't make money.
Exactly.
Like, you want those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys talking about like going to street vendors or little mom and pop, tiny little restaurants and stuff like where you guys are from. We're going backwards in America. Everything is franchises. Everything is chains. Everything is processed. And as an American, even when I travel within America, but to a new spot, I try that. I try that local spot. I'm not, no shit on Chili's and Applebee's, but if there's a Chili's or an Applebee's, and then there's, Fred's Southern Cooking, I'm going to Fred's.
Yeah.
Like, which I'm not saying just as an American, thinking about your two countries, I know there's entrepreneurs everywhere, right? But I feel like America is saturated with entrepreneurs in the sense of there are no more mom and pop type. They're dying. And recently with the pandemic, like financially, they're dying quicker.
Yeah.
They're dying quicker, and people are valuing money over authenticity.
Yeah.
And not willing to put in that sacrifice. They're trading that love and that care that you were talking about for their establishment for the dollar.
Yeah.
Especially being from South Louisiana, like still to this day, the bigger city, Lafayette, that's closer to my, hometown, I still don't think there's a chain seafood restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Which is rare. Yeah, it's all mom and pop based seafood restaurants.
Yeah.
And it's delicious food. You might pay more. You're going to pay more than if, Red Lobster comes into town, but you're getting those people. The owners are probably there, or they're working. They're coming around. They're asking you. And so that's, it's a little different being from Louisiana and also being American, because in its own way, specifically where I'm from in the Acadiana region, we're like a different country. It's so weird. It's so weird. And people think Louisiana and New Orleans, right?
Oh,
like where I'm from, which is about 3 hours from New Orleans. It's a different entity. It's totally different. It's still America, but that's
probably the same, with me, is people think England, London. It's like, mate, no, I'm 200 miles away from London. London is not England. It's completely different there. But it's probably like the same for KL in Malaysia. Like, you got KL, but then you go 200 miles and it's just completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. The culture of the people, I suppose just the type of people, like people in a big city, just like over here in New York, you go to New York and then you go to, the farmlands, and it's like people are completely different. So, it's probably the same thing. New Orleans. It's not Louisiana.
no.
It's just what the pinpoint is for Louisiana. Same as London. And I don't really like big cities, so I never really liked London. So people ask me, what's London like? I'm like, I've been there a few times. Go and try it for yourself. I'll tell you about what it's like being up in Manchester and Liverpool. I love it there. It's like big cities with a small kind of feel. But the culture they have there, it's a lot in sports, food, obviously. But it's all working class kind of people. And they have a different respect, I think, for others. Whereas in London or these, the bigger cities, they're kind of like, how you doing? Keep it moving. Don't really care about you. I'm just on my path. So I think in the northwest, we're a little bit more down to earth, I think. And I kind of get that feel in Georgia here in Woodstock is there's a lot of people who take the time to even, from the UK, so they pick up on the accent and they ask kind of like what it's like, what brought you here, all that kind of stuff. But it's like people actually want to know. Whereas, if I go up to New York or something, they go, fuck you.
God, that sounds so cool to me.
trying to get to where I'm going. So, and one other thing, while I brought up New York, we went there 4 years ago, something like that. I think. Went to see the boxing up there. Madison Square Garden was fantastic, but the transit up there was fantastic. Back home, public transit is amazing. A bus, train, wherever you need to go, it's 5 minutes away. In Georgia, you have to drive everywhere, and it took me a while to get used to that. Is I can't just hop on a train and go down to Atlanta, go to Alpharetta, go down to Macon. I understand because it's so spread out, but I wish it was a little bit better and more considerate of people who can't afford cars. That's one of the big reasons people don't have them back home is they're so expensive. Petrol's expensive, taxes expensive on a car, but there's ways around it with public transport. So understand the grid here is it's huge, but maybe they do a little bit better than Marta.
Oh yeah, no comment.
But yeah, KL though, what's it like in compared to, as I was saying, as a landmark? Can you go to KL and be like, this is Malaysia? Or do you have to really go out on the outskirts? And can you see everything in KL that you need to? Or do you need to venture out a bit to, get the actual feel of what Malaysia is?
Good question. Yeah, pretty much you can. KL is very diverse.
Okay.
In a sense where you can go 10 miles down one way and you're going to hit like, the flats or, low income housing. You go 10 miles, east and you're going to hit like freaking Bel Air. And then the other 10 miles, like middle class. You kind of get everything. It's really a giant melting pot. And at the same time, it has like a New York City feel to it, which for me, I love that. It's just so busy. Always go, go, go. So many, accidents and traffic. I love that shit.
The mayhem.
Yeah, the mayhem. Like, it's just, everyone's just always busy. Everyone's always working. Everyone's always like active in some sort of way. But you kind of get, if you go to KL, that would probably be the only city you need to go to.
Okay.
Because it has everything. It. You don't have to travel unless you want to go see like a national monument or whatever in that country. But for the most part, you kind of get everything there. Or if anything, it's like on the border of KL. So, because you gotta drive through the slums just to get into the city, or drive through the rubber estate. So it kind of all intermingles with each other.
That sounds like LA.
Yeah. A
little bit.
Los Angeles.
I love it. I love KL. That'll be the city I move back to if I retire there.
Yeah.
That'll be KL.
Well, good shit. Yeah, I just wanted to take time and, I've heard a lot from both of you, but get it out, let it share to our audience, just legit curiosity. There's something to you can never stop learning. And there's no way to solve ignorance or uneducation without education. There's no way. There's no way. It's impossible. You can have hearsay, or you can hear directly from where it matters.
Yeah.
So,
like, I don't necessarily fault them for not knowing, because like they haven't been educated. But at the same time, if you are very interested in traveling and stuff, you should. I assume you are going to. But in that same regard, like if you don't care about traveling and you don't care to know these new experiences, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna look like an idiot.
That's what it is experiencing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't take other people's words.
Yeah.
John doesn't like spicy food. Obviously he does, but just using it as an example. So is that going to stop me from eating spicy food? No. Same thing with people, with places.
Yeah.
It's like, it was colder, or maybe it was the time of the year, and you just go in the summer, but experience it for yourself and have your own thoughts on it, I think is the main thing. I used to do that a lot. Think that I knew what the place was like because I've read things or heard
about it,
but it's like, no, it's actually amazing places, but I just go and have to experience it for myself. That's what I'd say to the majority of Americans is experience, like go and actually do it before you make assumptions. And it's not your fault, but don't have a strong view on something without experiencing it for yourself.
Everyone has a strong view on everything nowadays, so that kind of ties back to one of my dislikes about America. So
my advice would be, it's something I did do myself. Like, I came from such a closed-minded, just natural way of living. That's what it was. Like, I had to go out of my way to educate myself.
But you also wanted to, right?
I wanted to. I had this, passion of wanting to know more. And going back to what I said earlier, the guy from Switzerland, I think that's where it started. Just him sharing, how Switzerland was, and
a little bit of intrigue.
Yeah, and it like scratched the itch I didn't know I had, and then it just kind of evolved. And so, advice for people who have two different sets of advice, but they're both the same thing. If you have a strong opinion on something, but you have no education on it, go out and get educated. And if you don't have a strong opinion, but you're curious, that's even more reason to go out and get educated. You don't have to have an opinion to be curious.
Yeah.
No.
You can have your own reservations about something and find it out, and you can live a good life with experiences,
Yeah, I mean, same thing, right? I know I kid a lot about Pennsylvania and Ohio and the reasons why I don't like those places. But I ain't fucking ever going to experience fucking Pennsylvania and Ohio, okay? I've had enough of that shit. Okay? That shit is
There's
done.
an American ignorance right there, baby.
Yeah, fucking I'm a citizen of the United States of America, and I'm allowed to have this opinion. Okay? Fuck Pennsylvania. Fuck Ohio. How you doing? I'm keeping it moving.
And that's a hot take from Bala.
Just had to throw that in there. Those are the two places you ain't got to exchange shit.
To bounce back.
You can have a Philly cheesesteak here in Georgia and be fine. Just saying. Or you can go to a... Actually, no, I'm not going to do that to Ohio. I'll just say don't go to Ohio. Yeah, just don't go to Ohio. I was going to say you can just go, to a... Never mind. Never mind. It'll get canceled.
Yeah, if you guys have anything, I kind of want to wrap it up with one message, but if you guys got anything to add.
Yeah, no, just fuck Ohio and Pennsylvania.
OH.
Yeah.
IO. Anything?
No. After that bombshell.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tie it all together with a pretty little bow. With what I was saying a while ago with the opinions, if you have a strong opinion, if you don't, if you're interested in new experiences, even if you're not. The thing that makes Americans proud is the freedom, right? That goes back to, before 1776 is the liberation and the freedom. Use that freedom that you're so proud of to create new experiences, because we have so much freedom here. We have the ability to move wherever we want, get whatever job we want, eat whatever we want, watch whatever we want. We have so many freedoms here. Go to church wherever and in whatever belief you want. Literally any belief, you can find it in America.
Agreed.
Use those freedoms to create new experiences. I promise you will not regret that. It's taken me this far in my life. I lived 23-ish years of my life so just closed-knit, closed-minded. And I'm not saying you have to leave what you're comfortable with, but take a temporary leave and go do these experiences temporarily. And if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Is there something else I can help with?
Siri could help you with those freedoms. Thank you, Jexy. But yeah, use those freedoms to create new experiences, and I guarantee you will not regret it. You won't.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, another episode down.
Another episode down.
A reminder to check us out at, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it, pb.j_podcast on Instagram. We have a link tree. We have our YouTube there, Spotify there.
TikTok will be on there.
TikTok will be on there.
Yeah.
Twitch. Look forward to us streaming soon. We're not the best gamers, but we have a great fucking time playing. We're humorous, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. We're trying to get our YouTube moving. Another shameless plug. Every Tuesday, between 8:30 and 9 Eastern, we live stream on YouTube fantasy football predictions. Bala is hot right now with his waiver wires and his trades and his who to drop, who to play. He's on a hot streak, and we sprinkle in a little EPL. And I'm going to have a callback here. We're going to have to clip this part of the episode, but I'm pretty sure I heard Rune say he loves Liverpool.
Yeah, he did.
I think he said that. Yeah. He said he wants some Mo Salah.
Yeah.
I love it when they lose.
PB&J Sports Talk every Tuesday.
Heck yeah.
8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern. Come in with questions, comments, concerns. We'll address any of them. Leave a comment on our YouTube or DM us on Instagram. It's the easiest way to get in touch with us.
That it is.
With that being said, episode 18 in the books.
Thanks for listening.
We are out.
Till next time.
Yes.